Hi, we're here at Christ Church in New Zealand, and we're here to interview people on why people don't go to church anymore. So we're going to step inside here and just interview some people, okay? Let's go.
I don't know if the church has a lot of relevance to the reason people make decisions today. I think people tend to look at life in a more secular way. I think there's also a lot more kind of spiritual thinking that people are involved in that isn't necessarily attached to organised religion.
I think religion has moved less from the public sphere and more into the private sphere.
People feel that the church has lost its way and that the church no longer provides kind of the values that Christianity once stood for, the original values of Jesus Christ, which were communalism and love and solidarity.
I think the culture has changed, not really the culture has changed, the people has changed, and also the things the people want to do. But the problem is the church hasn't changed. The church is still the old one. It's still against condoms, and it's still the old church.
You don't really, it's like, you don't need that sense of belonging as much because like religion was like more something that, you know, how you would belong, a way to belong to a group or a society, and then you were kind of ridiculed for not fitting in. But I think nowadays we have other ways of belonging to different groups, and people don't feel pressured into having to fit into a certain way that society wants them to be.
Speaking personally, from my own point of view, I was brought up with church, and I went to church when I was a kid, but now I don't go so often. I like my churches to be quite traditional and old.
I think a church that deals with people on a practical basis, on a day-to-day basis. The hell and brimstone thing just turns people off.
I think people today tend to look at the church as something that is quite outdated.
I think it must be more open-minded. So the whole thing should be more open to a lot of different ideas, because I think everybody is moving so much, traveling so much, has not only one idea about what he believes in.
I think the best way for Christians to find their way back to the original message of Jesus is to go out and do the work of Jesus, and work for the poor and help the poor, and work in a sense of solidarity with people who have been oppressed, and the working class and whatnot. These are guys who are like militant peace workers, and they go out and they smash up American bombers. They did that before the Gulf War, and they go to jail for like 6 years. But they're intensely religious, and they intensely believe that if they're not the ones going to go out and stop war and work for peace, then no one else will.
I don't know if it can really, because I like to think that the church is there, it's always there, and it's tradition, and I don't like the idea of a church modern